In this short video, I would like to talk about Franciscan spirituality. You could call it an update on previous videos that I've done about Franciscan spirituality. Interestingly, Francis of Assisi in the 12th century, I don't think fully comprehended the impact of his simple, humble, beautiful life on the entire people of God over several centuries. And today in the 21st century, it is worth noting that Franciscan spirituality, that adopted, implemented, and lived out each day by Francis of Assisi, St. Clare, Colette, and many of the followers of Francis, they've left us a legacy. In truth, they've left me a blueprint on reawakening the divine within my soul. And as an independent Franciscan who lives the cloistered life from my monastery without walls, I owe a lot to Francis, because Francis embraces God through the natural world. He embraces God by working in partnership with the four spheres of angelic beings, the messengers of God, otherwise known as the archangels and the angels. But we mustn't forget the nature spirits, the tridevas and elementals. And in using those words, if you come from a Christian tradition, you might be thinking, oh no, this is New Age. It's not. Because the Father, Mother God entrusted the management of Earth to Mother Earth. And Mother Earth has been here since the beginning of time, managing the seasons and supporting the animal kingdom. But first, I would like us to read the prayer to you given to us by our Holy Father, Francis of Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, and it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. That prayer for me sums up the whole mystery of a spiritual relationship with the divine God Goddess. It encompasses all of the parables of Christ, all of the teachings of Buddha, Vishnu, Ganesh, Krishna, Gandhi. It embraces the essence of what a follower of God, a child of God, should become. But first we need to understand, what is Franciscan spirituality? Well, Franciscan spirituality, though given the name by Francis of Assisi, he personally didn't name it. His followers did. Not by dogma, not by parables, but by their exemplary lives of humility and detachment from the world, and attachment to a loving God. And I believe that Franciscan spirituality encompasses Celtic spirituality, Druidic spirituality, shamanic spirituality, Christian spirituality, Judaic, Islamic, Hindu, Sikh, Baha'in. It also embraces the beautiful teachings of Sufism, Rumi. But more importantly, Franciscan spirituality is rooted in Essenic spirituality. The teachings of the Essenes going back to Mount Sinai, 8,000 years ago, when the prophet Enoch gave us the sacred book, the Kabbalah, which shares with us the tree of life. And the symbol I wear on my chest is known as the Teo symbol. Very simple. And if I take it off, you will see it doesn't have the figure of Christ on it. But what it represents is you and me with our arms opened up in the shape of the tail, saying, "Here I am, O God. I come to be with you in divine service as an ambassador of peace." And Franciscan spirituality is more about embracing a way of life. It's more about adopting the sacred teachings of all the spiritual children of God. The Lord Buddha was a child of God. Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Jesus, Therese of Lisieux, all ambassadors of God from God. The Prophet Muhammad, part of the Christ-like consciousness. But Franciscan spirituality is not only a way of life, it is a tool to reawaken the divine oneness of a loving God, the mystical heart within the fibers of our soul, and empower the heart. Embrace God. But for me as an interfaith Franciscan, we embrace all faiths and none. That was the message of Jesus the Barefoot Galilean with Francis to my heart as I knelt at the tomb of Assisi in 2008. But going back as far as 2006, when 12 of my student therapists who were embracing the Christ Magdalena energies in a healing weekend, they were told by Francis to embrace all faiths. And if we don't embrace all faiths, how does that leave us with God? Or better still, how does God respond to our indifference when we're afraid to come out of that mindset, "Oh no, I'll be contaminated"? As a Christian, Franciscan, who embraces all faiths, what I am doing is what God has asked of my heart. And yet, there has been a price. And the price has been rejection from within the Christian family, because they see what I do as New Age. And yet, the New Age movement see what I do as being Christian. So there's no happy medium. But again, I'm not living this life to please others. But it must be true to say that Franciscan spirituality is an eco-sustainable spiritual journey where we respect the earth, the gifts that God has given us. Because for me, God isn't up there. God is here in creation. And when I embrace creation, I embrace God. And it has three elements: connection, reflection, and service. But the four words Francis gave us: behold, enfold, hold, and listen.